So today I want to talk to you about how to prepare for mediation. So as part of the court process here in England, you have to go to mediation before you go into the court process to obtain your C100. Now there are exceptions to that, such as experience in domestic abuse, which means you might not have to go. The current thinking by the Family Justice Council is filter everyone through mediation. So mediation will be a part of your court process. When you've got a really good mediator, it might be the end of your court process. You might be able to get things sorted, but unfortunately, you're dealing with a high conflict narcissistic ex. It's probably not going to be the end. But let's talk about how you prepare for that. So, one thing I always want you to know is what is mediation? And it's really important to manage your expectations around that and know it's not there to decide who's right and who's wrong. It's not there to take sides. It is there to try and help and act as that third party to mediate between the two of you, almost like a hostage negotiator of what do you want? What do they want? And to be that person that stops it from getting too personal. In an ideal world, that's how it's meant to go. They just act as that impartial party who listens to both sides and doesn't get involved, doesn't say, well, I think you should do this, I think you should do that. Just says, okay, this is what they're asking for. What do you feel about that? And then you give your side of the story. Now, obviously, with a skilled mediator, then they're able to really handle the underlying emotional needs that are being spoken about in this. You want to be heard, you want to be seen, you want to be appreciated, you want to be safe, all of those kind of things that are really going on. But unfortunately, a lot of mediators don't necessarily have that emotional intelligence to be able to recognize that. And because of that lack of emotional intelligence, they can get triangulated into these discussions. So just be aware of looking out for that. Look out for those moments when they're overstepping their role. Now, that's not for you to point that out, but it is for you to think, actually, I don't think this is going to work because of X, Y, and Z. Now, you might want to then bring that up with them, or you might just speak to your legal counsel if you have it and just say, what do I do? Because obviously, court wants you to go through the mediation process. You don't have to keep going if you're not getting anywhere. There are £500 vouchers available at the moment because they want you to go through mediation. So once you've kind of used that up, really take a chance to review it and think, okay, has this worked? Is it working? Is it showing any signs of going anywhere? And then, you can look at that. So manage your expectations is my first point, really. The next one is to go in with what I use as a three-layered system. So your bottom layer is your non-negotiables, your baseline. I will not drop lower than that. Up from that, it'd be really great if I could have these things. But if I don't, that's okay as well, as long as I don't go lower than the baseline. Then you've got your top layer, which is, oh, whoopee doo. This is everything I want. Fantastic. Great. Go in and hit with the top layer. And then you've got wiggle room. So you don't have to go straight from top to middle or top to bottom. You've got room between top and middle to negotiate on some of those points. What this does is it shows that you are open to negotiation. Your ex will have one. This is it. It's my way. I will not shift from here. So everything you can do within those three layers is the contrast. It's proving and demonstrating to the mediator that you have the ability to negotiate while your ex doesn't have those abilities. So have a good think. If you want, again, speak to your legal counsel or speak to someone who understands and decide what those might be, because that can be a really good way for you to show that you're negotiating, but also get some wins along the way. You will get some things that you maybe didn't think you would, or they're just little wins. Celebrate them all. The next one is practice calm detachment. Your ex knows exactly how to press your buttons, and they are going to be coming into mediation, trying to use all of those tactics. So when you're able to learn how to not react to those pokes and those prods that they use to emotionally dysregulate you, to trigger that trauma response in you, then you stay in your power. That frustrates the crap out of them. And they start to dysregulate and they start to become more aggressive because they're trying really hard to get you to do what they want you to do, which is emotionally feed them, give them your anger, give them your tears. They are feeding off of that because that makes them feel important. When they've upset you or hurt you or made you angry, they feel significant and important and superior. So when you don't do that, they feel inferior. They feel they've lost control. So they become all the things that you accuse them of. So practicing that detachment of, I'm not going to get involved in that. I'm going to let that wash over me. It's hard. That's why I say practice it. Get a friend to throw all the rubbish at you that your ex is going to do, all the ways that you think they're going to try and poke you, all the rubbish that they're going to accuse you of, and just sit there. And I know it's not the same. I know it's not the same, but just try. A little tip for you is try and think about your ex when they use their voice, try and shift it to another voice, like a silly voice, whether it be like a cartoon, mouse, or just something that makes you laugh. And practice doing that. Whenever you hear their voice, whether that be really or pretending that you're hearing them, imagining that you're hearing them, turn it into that kind of mousy, little, tiny voice. Turn down the volume, turn up the squeakiness. We used to have can't remember what it's called, but you pressed a button on your ghetto blaster and it would turn it into like practice doing that so that when you're actually in front of them and they're speaking, you always like laugh to yourself with what they're saying because you're hearing that voice. Yeah, it takes away a lot of their power. It's a really small trait, but it's something that can massively help you to manage those fearful emotions. Focus on the children's needs. Don't get drawn into the mudslinging because they are going to try and get you to react. They are going to use blame shifting to force you into talking about something that you don't want to talk about, to defend yourself. They will do everything they can to not talk about things that you went to talk about. So we keep bringing things back to what's in the children's best interest, why you need to talk about that, what the children's needs are. Don't get embroiled in their games because, again, you're giving them the power over you to control the whole proceedings. When you stop and go, no, that's not relevant, in your head, that's not relevant, I want to bring things back, you are showing that level of focus. The mediator should do that, but they may or may not. So you can do that yourself in those moments. Again, manage your expectation around what the mediator may or may not do. My final point is know when to walk away. Know when it's not working. Know when actually it's making things worse. Know when you've got the wrong mediator. And know, okay, this is it. I'm going to call time on this. As long as you can demonstrate that you have actively participated, you have tried to reach conclusions, you have offered solutions, you have tried to negotiate, then you can walk away, get your C100 and go to court if you need to. What would be really helpful to those of you who are about to enter the mediation process is if you join me with my next workshop with Stuart Hanson, who's a very experienced mediator, highly emotional and intelligent, who will talk to you about all of these things, how to prepare, what to expect, what to look for in a mediator, how to know when actually this is not working. So I will leave the link for that to in the description below. I do invite you to come and join us and take care, everyone. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe on this video to keep receiving more information about the videos that I post.